Good morning, John. Johnny, how are you today? I actually got a little more sleep last night, so I feel a little better than I sometimes do in the morning. So, time for morning shave with Dad. So when I get ready for these, I try to ask myself what would I have wanted to ask my dad if he had been there when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, when I was your age, when I was not quite needing to shave, but maybe wanting to, or getting a facial hair here or there. Those are fun times. Fortunately, my facial hair is blonde, so it didn't show if I had one or two stragglers. But one of the thoughts I had this morning as I'm getting ready here, one of the questions that has gone with me into adulthood because I grew up without a dad in my life was why did Dad leave me? Why would he leave me? And that's a tough one. That's probably maybe the toughest part of growing up without a dad in your life. How could Dad leave me? And he may be partially involved in your life. Still, I got to see my dad a couple times a year, and he lived in a different state, and we'd go visit him. Maybe your dad lives in the same state. Maybe you see him every weekend or every other weekend, or maybe not at all. But how could your dad leave you? And I said that's a tough one, because that hits at the core of your heart. And so I don't know that I've even got a great answer for you, but I do have a couple of things that I've learned. Not to get shaving cream on your shirt. One is, you can't let that make you feel like it's a bad reflection on you. My parents divorced. They separated before I was even born. And so I never had a dad in my life. My older siblings got to experience the challenge that my parents were having in their relationship before they separated and got divorced. And so I'm sure it was a lot harder for them, because I suspect there were arguments and fights and things like that. For me, I didn't have to go through that, which was a good thing, but of course I grew up without Dad being there. And part of me, probably a bigger part of me than I care to admit or realize, would often ask myself, why did Dad leave me? Why would Dad leave me? And for me, that was the question that made it hard for me to feel like I was lovable, like I had value. If Dad could leave me, what's wrong with me? There must be something wrong with me. I always wanted to be a dad growing up. I love kids. We had 5 kids. I only had 3 or 4 miscarriages besides that. So we would have had a big family. I love kids. I couldn't understand how my dad would not want to be part of our lives. And that's what I told myself as I was growing up. And I'm sure that's not the case. It wasn't that he didn't want to be part of our lives. It's that he and Mom couldn't get along for whatever reason. So, if you find yourself asking that question, why did Dad leave me? How could he leave us? I need him, and he's not here. You need to make sure you understand, Johnny, and you look at me when I tell you this. It doesn't mean it's because you don't have value. You have a ton of value and worth. So don't let yourself tell yourself that because Dad's not in my life, it's a bad reflection on me. It's not. You still can become every bit the man that you were meant to be. So don't let yourself believe that. It's probably not going to be easy to do. Might take years for you to get over the feelings, but you've got to make sure you let go of that if you have those thoughts, because that's not the case. You're still a good young man, and you have the potential to be a very successful and positive man as you grow into adulthood. So don't let your fears or your thoughts that because your dad's not in your life, it's a bad reflection on you. It's not at all. So that would be the message. This is a little longer than my normal shave video that I would have with you. We'll talk more about this in the future too, because this, at least for me, has been the biggest baggage I've had to take through into adulthood, and I don't want you to have it holding you back either. All right? So, I already told you the one lesson: you can become everything that you were meant to be, despite the fact that you're growing up without a dad in your daily life. And number two, always remember that this stepdad of yours loves you. Have a great day.